Hi guys, this is Daniel over here at Win Air in Oxford. I wanted to show y'all this Oxbox furnace. This comes in at 80% or a 96%. Today we're going to be looking mainly at the 80% furnace. We're also going to go over the mitigation controls and how they wire up and how they work as well. Um, this furnace right here will go horizontal right, horizontal left, upflow, or downflow. It'll do either or. You have to change the direction of the inducer draft motor, undo it, right, left, or if you're doing downflow, you might have to change it. So, good things to know. It's going to come with a 2-wire little electrical whip in the installation bag. You don't really have to worry about this, but if you want some, if the homeowner wants added peace of mind, this is for the alarm. You wire this to an external alarm, and if it detects a refrigerant leak on the coil, um, it's going to sound that alarm. That's all this is for. This is optional. It's up to you whether you want to install that. It also comes with the LP kit, so it's got the orifices in here. It's got the springs for the gas valves and everything. It all comes in the kit with it. So you don't have to go out, you don't have to buy an additional LP kit or anything like that for it. It comes out of the box with everything you need to convert this to LP if needed. Okay, so I want to show you a little bit of the layout of the furnace and how everything's intact. So let me reposition this camera. Okay, now I want to give you the layout of this furnace, get you familiar with it and what all it has. So first off, we got a high voltage coming in. We've got our inducer draft motor, of course. We have our pressure switch here with a tube running from here over all the way to the pressure switch. We got this nice little rubber grommet here, protecting the wires from rubbing up against the gas valve. Very neat and tidy there. You're going to notice on Oxbox furnaces, air handlers, heat pumps, ACs, it doesn't matter. Oxbox has really thought through the design here and made sure that everything was going to be tidy and that the wires was going to be protected. So longevity of the unit, it's going to last a long while. Over here we have a flame sensor. Back behind the gas valve over here we have the igniter. We have our burner assembly. We got our gas valve. You're going to notice on this gas valve that it has a high and a low. It's a 2-stage gas valve that is jumpered. Okay, so it's operating as a single stage gas valve. When we adjust this gas valve, and I made note of this in my other in my gas valve video on these Oxbox gas valves, so make sure you go back and watch that. But when we're adjusting the pressure on this gas valve, you're going to be adjusting from the high side, not the low side. It's jumpered to high. Natural gas, we're looking around 3.5. Propane, we're looking at around 10 inches of water column. So, and always look at the owner's manual for that to verify, but 3.5 or 10-inch on LP. Also, if you can't get it to adjust to 3.5, check your incoming gas pressure. You want it to be at around, you don't want it to really dip under about 4.5 while it's running, to make sure we have enough gas pressure coming to the outlet side. We have our typical door switch down here. Moving on down, you're going to notice our control board here. 2 control boards actually. Our top control board, it's what pretty much controls the furnace. The bottom control board is for the blower motor. We have our thermostat controls over here. You are going to notice that we have a W1 and a W2, a Y1 and a Y2. When we're hooking up the heat for single stage, because it is a single stage unit, you're just going to use W1. That's going to be your high stage cooling. That's what you're going to want to use. When we're hooking up AC, we're going to want to hook up Y2. So W2 does absolutely nothing. It doesn't mess with fan speed or anything. It's just like a blank terminal. But your Y1 and Y2 does control some fan speed. So with that, we could pair this with a Bosch coil and a Bosch outdoor unit on this 80% Oxbox furnace, and we're still going to get our 18 or 20 SEER rating. So that's one cool thing to note. But if we're just wiring this up with a straight AC Oxbox, we're going to wire that to Y2 for your high stage cooling. This 80,000 BTU is what we're looking at right now. It's got a 4-ton drive. You might need to adjust the blower speed depending on what you're pairing it with. We'd normally pair this with a 3-ton as well. So if you needed to adjust blower speed, you're going to be looking at these dip switches right here. You're not going to unplug any wires, rearrange any wires. It's done through simple dip switches, and you'll be able to see that in the manual. That would be this first bank of dip switches right here. This second bank of dip switches right here is for your heat off and cool off delay, and the next set right here, S1, is for W2 delay. That's going to be unused. Got a transformer here. We got a bottom control board. One thing to note on the bottom control board, it's where they have a bank of dip switches as well down here. If you can even see it on the camera. Let's get it. Let's see if, I can't get the camera to go down anymore. Okay, here's the bank. There's 2 banks of dip switches here. This is what you would do for your machine type. So these boards are universal across the furnaces, just like I was talking about on the heat pumps. So out of the box, we're not going to have to program the control board here. We might have to change the blower speed up here, but we shouldn't have to. This is going to come flash for whatever furnace it is. But if we ever need to change this board, then we need to set the machine type, whether it's an 80% or a 90%, and you're going to do that on these dip switches, like I said. Whether it's a 40, a 60, an 80,000 BTU, exactly what furnace it is, it would be done down here on these dip switches. The other bank of dip switches is for some fan speed, whether you want normal speed or slow speed. We typically don't mess those. We do all of our blower speed adjustment right up here on the top control board. So that's pretty much the layout of the furnace, the things you would need to know here. We'll be right back. We'll talk about wiring that mitigation control. All right, as far as wiring this mitigation control, it's a lot of wires. It looks complicated. It's not complicated. One reason it has a lot of wires is because it can be used for a dual fuel application if you needed to. So this is the cover. On the back of the cover, it has your diagram, how to wire this, what everything's for, and also it's going to have onboard diagnostics. So it'll show you your trouble codes here, whether it's a communication fault or whatever the issue might be, whether it's tripped out on the 454B sensor. As far as this, so the Oxbox, this does not come with the furnace. It comes with the coil. The coil already has the 454B sensor in place. So you shouldn't have to move it. All you got to do is plug it into the mitigation board. You're going to notice that there's 2 clips on here that it could plug into. What we're going to want to do is make sure we plug it into CN26. It's a white plug. If we plug it into the blue plug, we're going to get a communication error. It's not communicating with the sensor. So when we install it, we got to make sure we're plugging it into CN26 or this thing's not going to run. Comes with 3 little things of wire here. Every single one of them's marked. So this goes to the gas furnace. So the thermostat connects to this. And this controls everything. So let's see, where's the thermostat? I really should start there. Here's the thermostat control wires, okay? First, from your thermostat to this. That call is going to go through the control board and go to the gas furnace. So this wires to the thermostat, this wires to the gas furnace, and this wires to the outdoor unit, whether you're using an AC or a heat pump. Like I said, it can do dual fuel. So from the thermostat to the mitigation board, the call will go through the mitigation board to the furnace and to the AC or heat pump. And that's how these things work. This control board controls everything. This can be mounted on the coil box itself, but it is labeled exactly where to put this. So make sure you put it there. We don't want you to run a hole through the coil. That is never a good day when you put a hole through a coil. So if you do mount it to the coil box, make sure you put it where the markings are, so we don't punch a hole through that coil. You could also mount it on one of the studs or something like that up there. The wires are very long. These little pigtails are very long, so they will reach all the way into the furnace from being mounted on the coil. So that's very nice. Very, very nice construction here. High quality. So that's pretty much how you would wire the mitigation board. Also on the front of the cover, it tells you which, I don't know if you can see that, but it tells you which set of wires go to what. So whether it's the outdoor unit, thermostat, or the gas furnace, it tells you right on the front cover, and it's labeled on here as well. So pretty cool little setup there. So if there's anything I've missed, any details that that you think I missed, or you got a question, whether it's on the mitigation board or whether it's on the furnace, just comment down below. Make sure you let me know. I would try to tackle it in another video, or I'll try to answer your question in the comments. Always make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the notification, so every time I put out one of these videos, you can see it. Thank you for watching.